I have to admit, I am stunned. I cannot believe that the Mets allowed, and yes, allowed Edwin Diaz to go to the Los Angeles Dodgers on a 3-year contract. I am stunned. And I've been saying it this entire offseason when the question has been universally from every Met fan or anybody interested in the Mets, the conversation is, well, you got Pete Alonso, you got Edwin Diaz. And which one is more important? Which one do they need to sign? Preferably both. But if you had to choose, which one? And I've been saying forever, without question, to me, with the state of the Mets starting pitching, the state of the Mets bullpen, and the idea that replacing the best closer in baseball, which is what he is, the best, most consistent, most durable. I had one, odd knee injury a couple years ago that cost him the whole season. Outside of that, he's the most durable. He is the best. He could pitch in different innings. It doesn't matter. Multiple innings when you need him to be. This is the best closer in baseball. And as much as we could talk about how do you replace the 40 home runs, how do you replace the 120 RBIs, how do you replace what Pete Alonso gives you? It's not easy to replace what Pete Alonso gives you. It is not. And especially now that Kyle Schwarber is no longer out there, it's damn near impossible to do it with one player. But you can't talk run prevention the way the Mets have talked run prevention. Move on from Brendan Nimmo. Run prevention, defense, bring in Semien so he could be better defensive at second base. You're going to bring in either, another left fielder, maybe Bellinger, whoever who's better in left field. Run prevention without a starting rotation, really. And with, Devin Williams in the fold, and we'll get to how much that impacted or what we could have taken from it at the moment. And what that kind of told us, or what we can read from that signing now, I'm sorry. Losing Diaz is a disaster. You cannot replace the best reliever, the best closer in the game. So let's just start there. Is there, when the whole offseason is over, can we look back and see what this team looks like and make our decision? Sure. Does it mean they're screwed? Does it mean they can't win? No. But this is the guy you needed to bring back. I'm sorry. This is the guy over Alonso, over everything else. This should have been priority number one. And he leaves for 3 years and $3 million more than the Mets offered him. And so let's just get into it right there about whose fault this is, because that apparently seems to be the debate. And I'm sorry. Are we really talking about when phone calls were made? Well, he made the phone call first, and he didn't really come back, and he didn't give them an opportunity. And they've been talking for however long. I don't know. The season ended when? The beginning of October for the Mets. Well, he didn't really give them a chance to come back. This is I'm sorry. If you're going to blame anyone, it's the Mets. It's Stearns and how he handled this game. Plain and simple. We can say he didn't want to be back, and maybe by the end he didn't, and maybe by the end he just took the Dodgers once they gave a number he wanted, fine, whatever the case may be. But here's the bottom line. From the beginning of this, the conversation was he wants 5 years at $100 million, and that seemed outrageous, right? That seemed outrageous, seemed a little bit much for a reliever, and we know relievers are fickle, especially now it's the second contract, he opted out, blah, blah, blah. I get it. But are you telling me that the best offer the Mets gave him was 3 years and $66 million? That's the offer that they allowed him to go shop? See, that's what bothers me. That's what really gets to me. What gets to me is the idea that nobody likes to negotiate against themselves. We hear that all the time. We hear that from the Yankees. We hear it from the Mets. We hear it from all these. No, I'm not negotiating against myself. We heard it constantly with Pete Alonso last year. I'm not negotiating against myself. Pete, you got to be reasonable. Here's what's out there. Nobody wants you. Nobody deems you worthy of signing a big-time contract off of this year with the picks attached to you because of the qualifying offer, blah. And we'll find out what Pete Alonso's market is now. And we'll get to that at 888-808-1019 and what's next for the Mets. But nobody likes to negotiate against themselves. Well, here's the problem. You weren't negotiating against yourself. You were negotiating against the Los Angeles Dodgers. You play David Stearns, and I think sometimes, and I heard Loogie mention this, is it overplayed, the idea that he's the man from Milwaukee and is a mid-market team, and he doesn't believe in this, he doesn't believe in that, and he holds firm to this, and he holds firm to that, and, he doesn't want to spend money, and he believes in this form of way of building a team? Yeah, probably. It's probably overdone and probably a bit much. But here's the bottom line on the Edwin Diaz situation that he can't comment on because it's not a done deal yet, as he spoke to the media down in Orlando. Here's the bottom line. He got caught playing the market game against a team that doesn't believe the market exists. Plain and simple. That's what happened. He got caught playing the market game. No one's going to offer him 5. I doubt anybody's going to offer him 3. I'll offer a very competitive 3 years. No one's going to offer him 4, right? No one's going to offer him 5 for sure. I doubt anyone offers him 4. I'll offer him a very comfortable, very nice, top of the market 3-year deal and see where it goes. And I'll even tell him there's room for more. Room for more. You offered him 3 years, $66 million. Bottom line. And you allowed him to shop that, and you tried to say, you went in and said, hey, this is the market, this is what we think the market is, against a team that doesn't believe the market exists, that every year goes out and signs the best reliever and the best reliever, and whether or not they pitch for them in the postseason's another story, but every year they sign the best of this, the best of that, the best reliever year after year. And you're going to tell me, you know what? This guy's been the best closer in baseball for you. He's been the guy with a bad bullpen. Like, he's been your guy who's done everything you've asked him to do. He's been there for you. And the Dodgers are going to show the same level of interest you are? Maybe that eventually pissed them off. Maybe the idea that you scoffed at 5 years. Maybe the idea that you wouldn't go 4 because nobody else would go 4. Maybe the idea that you held firm on what you believe in is what finally pissed him off. I don't know, but I'm sorry. He's your player. You had all offseason to talk to him and work with him. You knew what he wanted. And instead, you said, well, I'm going to give what a fair market price. I mean, well, I would be an idiot, right? Same thing. It worked out last year for Pete. We heard the same thing. The Mets handled it perfectly. The Mets knew what the market was. They played it smart. They didn't offer him some crazy money. They had to go to $30 million for the 1 year, but they got Pete on a great contract. They weren't crazy. They weren't going to go do anything stupid. They always wanted Pete, but they wanted him at his number. And so that's what happened, and it turned out great for the Mets. Well, now you're going to tell me, well, they really wanted Diaz, clearly, and they wanted him at his number, though. And you know what? You played it twice, and you got burned the second time. This is on Stearns. This is on the owner. And then somewhere down the line, it's on the closer who's been the best closer in baseball for you when other teams show just as much interest as you did. Bottom line. He didn't want to come back to you. You didn't care enough to go get him. That's it. That's the fact. If they wanted him, this is the same owner I heard this time last year. This time last year, every Met fan was running around, skipping and frolicking around, talking about how they have the owner who gets their man. Can't say that about the Yankees anymore. They're not the team who goes out and gets their man. They're not the guy who targets someone and says, hell be damned, I'm going to go get it. Contract be damned, money be damned, suite be damned, clothes be damned, family be damned. No, it doesn't matter. I'm getting them. Not the Yankees anymore. That's the Mets. That's the Mets owner. Unless, of course, it comes to Pete Alonso, where you lucked into a 1-year, $30 million deal last year. And, of course, if it's the best closer in baseball who you deem valued at 3 years at $22 million per, and outside of that, I suppose we could have a discussion. He didn't want to have a discussion. He wanted the team that he's done all this for to love him. Some guys want love. Some guys want respect. Some guys want money. I don't know. And maybe in the end he wanted championships for the Dodgers, and maybe in the end he wanted the nicer weather, and maybe in the end he chose the Dodgers. The bottom line is the Mets didn't make him a priority, and they played the market game with a team that doesn't believe in the market. Shame on them. I don't know how, we could stand here all day and talk about who wanted what, and he wasn't allowed to come back, and they never brought it back to him. Like, nonsense. I thought Steve Cohen was the owner. When he wants it, he goes and gets it. I guess not. So are they capable of pivoting off of this? Everyone's favorite new word when it comes to the offseason. Can they pivot off of losing Edwin Diaz? Sure. I suppose. I don't think they're done. I don't think they're going to fold. I don't think they're going to, wave the white flag and just say, well, we'll see you in 2027 or we'll wait until after the CBA. Like, they're going to go out there and they're going to try and build a team. And it probably will be because they have some stars on it and because they do have assets. They should build at least a playoff team. It's amazing they weren't a playoff team last year. But make no mistake, this was, as Evan was saying all day, not only the best closer in baseball, but the best closer in Mets franchise history. In a spot that you don't get reliable. And you could look at your next closer for that exact example. In a position where reliable is hard to freaking come by, they just allowed him to go to the Dodgers. The Dodgers. And so add Steve Cohen, add the Mets, add David Stearns to the long list of teams that don't do what the Dodgers do and can't compete with the Los Angeles Dodgers and really don't have enough interest to. They allowed him on a 3-year deal. Why can't you give him 4? Can I ask? Can we ask the question why the 4th and 5th years for this owner, who's rich as can be, who's selling $10 million gold toilets, who just is about to open a printing machine of money in what a casino is? Like, why do you need to get rid of the last 2 years of $20 million for Brendan Nimmo so desperately? Why are you so afraid to give the best closer in baseball that 4th year? Why is the sticking point, as we're hearing right now, 3 years for Pete Alonso? What happens in 4 years? Like, what happens in 4 years that you can't commit money to? What happens in 4 years that the Mets don't want $1 on the payroll? Soto's making the $50 million a year now. Lindor's making the same money now. What changes in 4 years that you can't have anybody on that team? If Diaz is no good in 4 years, you can't overcome it. You're trying to win a championship now. Now. And you're trying to beat the Dodgers to do it. I mean, you want to say that Diaz had his role in this? Of course, of course. But who's to blame for this? There's only one reason he's not a Met, and it's not because he desperately wanted out of here. If he signed a 5-year if he signed that 5-year $100 million contract that he wanted, that seems a lot for a closer. Granted, it's a lot. If he signed that with the Dodgers, we'd be having a different discussion that the Dodgers are just absolutely crazy. And we'll get to this. And the Ohtani contract affords them to do things other teams can't do. I'm totally on board with that. And it would have been a different discussion. This is 3 years, $69 million. And the best argument against it's not the Mets' fault is, well, he didn't call them back. Come on. Does Steve Cohen want him or not? Plain and simple. Did he want him? Because last year, frolicking, saying we finally have the owner who gets who he wants. Plain and simple. Now all of a sudden, he wanted L.A., he wanted the warmth, he wanted this, he wanted that. What happened to last year that the Mets are the destination? That Juan Soto checked the landscape of baseball and made the obvious decision, the decision and the conclusion that you know and I know and Yankee fans know and Met fans know and everybody knows that Queens is where you want to be. That the farm system, the pocket of the owner, like everything being run by one of the smartest executives in baseball, like he looked around baseball, the greatest free agent since Alex Rodriguez. He looked around baseball and said, I want to be there. I want to be there because that's where my future lies. That's the best place to be. And a year later, half the fan base wants to say, well, he wanted to be a Dodger. What are you going to do? Sorry, I ain't buying it. Now, go pivot. Bring back Pete. We're going to get to that. Go bring back Pete. There's no excuse not to. Go get Bellinger. Go spend some money. And go build a good baseball team. That's still on the table. Don't get me wrong. But this is a rough day. And that's a rough player to lose. And that's a very difficult player to replace. And it's their fault. 888-808-1019. McMonagle here with you on the Fan. Quick break. We'll come back, take your calls, get you all the way to midnight. As long as the voice makes it. Amazing. I don't know if you heard my previous, the Saturday show, I was okay. Monday was rough. The Friday overnight of 5 hours by 4 a.m., I could barely speak. I felt good until I'm hearing it a little bit now. But I'm here with you. We will battle through. I'll take your phone calls. Do some heavy lifting for a change. What are you doing?